Boy, we are live, I think. Here we are. Here we go. Yeah, you're muted, Titan. There we go.
Well, hi. There we go.
Hi.
So did you see the big news that was released today, Faz?
Apparently not.
About StreamYard?
No, I have not. Definitely not.
Do you remember how I was bragging that Riverside could automatically create shorts?
Oh, can StreamYard now do it?
Yes.
Well, then why
automatically formatted.
Why do I ever want to go to Riverside then?
You might not want to. That was my biggest selling point because we wanted to get shorts done, and that made it lickety-split simple.
So how do we do that? Where's the menu entry?
I don't know. It was literally tweeted today, so I have no idea where to go or anything. Hey, HB. Welcome to Friday Night Faz Radio. We're going to get a little jiggity tonight. Have some fun.
I think you're already a bit jiggity right now. Or are you giggity right now?
No, not giggity. Nope. So, what did you think of yesterday's conversation?
Wasn't that bad.
No, I mean, we brought up a couple of fantastic points about the integration of blockchain gaming and the, for lack of a better way to put it, the theft of ideas and regurgitating, slopping something together and calling it a crypto game.
Well, that in of itself is typical in the business world. That happens everywhere. I mean, you can go to any store right now and find half a million things that are ripping off some other product.
Mm-hmm. Is that the way that you feel blockchain gaming should begin its journey?
Should, more like will. I mean, that's more of an inevitable kind of thing. Remember, this is the green room now. We're not going to get into Faz Radio stuff.
No, that isn't. I'm asking an opinion because you've been.
I should change my background.
You've been very fact-based on the last few Faz Radios instead of sharing opinions.
I'm usually fact-based. I was fact-based in the beginning. I'm fact-based in the middle. If you present me a set of data, I'm generally going to point to the data. It's you that likes to make
that's fine. That's why I'm
subjective arguments.
Right. I'm asking you an opinion on what you think, and you're trying to throw data back at me. I want to hear an opinion.
I think, and I've said this many times, that I think crypto is new, and the adoption will go just like the adoption of other new things. And if crypto really takes off, it'll go just like those other things. You'll have lots of fakers. You'll have lots of people that'll ride the line. I mean, it's just typical business. So, I think obviously I must think that crypto is going to take off in and of itself because I own crypto. But how? It's just going to go like other new things. I can't get much more specific than that.
The narrative on crypto Twitter this week has been focused on gaming. Or at least what I'm seeing. Maybe it's the algo. Don't know. And they're saying a lot of things revolving around coins and tokens and earning. And are they bringing the cart before the horse? Instead of making good games and putting an economy behind it or a token behind it, that they're building games around trying to get rich off a token.
Well, I would suggest the same thing with the normal game companies. They do the same thing right now. They build games that are crap when they come out, and then they start fixing them only after they've been deployed. They put out, nobody actually really enjoys version 1.0 of any game. It's usually at least the patches by the time the game gets gets good.
Well, I'm more along the lines of let's go to traditional gaming, and if we say, for example, Call of Duty, is Call of Duty built around the gameplay and the game itself and what goes on? Is that built around what you can buy in the game, or is it built as a game and then they figure out how to monetize it afterwards?
So I'm not the most up on Call of Duty. However, I will say that when these games in general first came out, they were around the game. After a while, these games got more expensive, and these games wanted to come up with ways to pay their developers so that they can buy, so that they can make more stuff. And so the DLC and the skin concept came up. So, I mean, that's your answer. Are they trying to screw you? I think that some people are, and some people aren't. It's a business. They're going to make money doing it, or else they would have never done it to begin with. That's reality. What's my opinion? It would have been nice to have the Atari cartridge concept that I grew up with. You pay $60 for a game, and that's it. However, that's not sustainable, so that's not going to happen.
No, I'm not suggesting that. What I'm trying to boil down to is the approach being taken appears to be focused on tokens and earnings first and gameplay and everything else behind it. They slop together whatever they can put together that will get people interested in buying shit on this side to backfill the game and make the game more interesting instead of making an interesting game and then having tokenomics attached to it.
There's two reasons for that. One is crypto is so new that it takes games so long to be developed that if you're going to have a game with a crypto element in it, you're going to have to slap something together at first. So I think maybe in a few years you'll start seeing crypto games that have been developed for many years beforehand. Number two is the whole financial speculation aspect comes in that could not come in with regular games. Like a new EA game wouldn't come out asking people to invest in it because that concept never existed previously. So
would EA take traditional gaming to selling skins and weapons before the game even came out?
If the government allowed it, sure, of course. Anything when you have a business, businesses will wrap themselves around whatever loopholes and whatever they can get away with. So sure, they would, if they could get away with it. The thing is, they have their market cornered, and they don't want a new market. EA Games is not pushing for crypto.
No, but why wouldn't you alluded to they're not allowed to pre-sell weapons. Why is that?
I alluded to that.
Yeah. You said if they were allowed to, they would.
What I was thinking is the current SEC rules are a bit vague on crypto. And so if the SEC was a lot more clear and it was very obvious that they were allowed to do stuff like that, sure, they would.
Why don't traditional games do that? Is there some reason that traditional games don't sell a bunch of skins and weapons before the game actually comes out while it's in development?
It might be that area is more regulated than the crypto arena. See, that's the difference.
That's what I mean. I'm asking a question because I've never looked it up.
I'm telling you the same thing. I haven't either. And so what the difference is crypto is a different venue than regular games. People are trying things with crypto that they couldn't get away with before. I've talked at length about Magic the Gathering, and they're trying to avoid their cards being a security. Well, that area is well trodden. The law is well known, but not with crypto. So I think you're driving to something, but you're not gonna get a clear favorite from me other than I've bought into crypto, so obviously I think it's going to go somewhere. How it's going to go somewhere, I don't know. I hope it goes somewhere in a way that I've made my bets.
Now that we've had exposure thanks to Thursday nights, we're getting a lot of exposure to different gaming platforms for the first time. I mean, we reviewed a few, but we're going like hardcore in depth on some of these. What are your thoughts now that your blinders are off of Gala and you're able to see some of these other ecosystems? Has that changed your opinion on maybe if one company is approaching it better than another?
I see different companies trying different approaches. It's hard to really, in the way that we look at new games, it's hard to really score them all because you need to have a rigorous set of questions and measurements if you're going to score them all. Yeah, I like the idea of EV.io, which means you get going immediately and you can play. Great. It's using Solana. Great. Okay. Then this other game we saw last night with the zombie game, apparently it's using some weird old blockchain, but they have a method that works fairly well. Great. That's great too. They're completely different directions than what Gala Games is doing, for example. Gala Games is a publisher, but we've looked at individual games. So I'm not sure if I would compare an individual game development to a publisher developing things. Hey, I'd like to see Gary Gensler try to classify them as securities.
There's not enough money in it, HB. Crypto has a far bigger market cap. He just wants money. That's really what he wants. I mean, it's the same as your speed traps on the highway, right? They're not out there for your safety for speeding. They're out there for the revenue that those things generate, which is why
I don't think that they've made speeding illegal because they just wanted money.
That's not what I said. What I said was they create the speed traps in order to generate revenue. And they're blatant about it. They even say so.
Thanks to Google. Google tells me where the speed traps are in Oregon when I'm driving.
Right. Yeah, well, Waze got sued for that.
Waze? Google owns Waze.
Is it Waze? I thought it was Waze.
Waze, as in way, you know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I don't. I have no idea. I haven't followed any lawsuits. All I know is Google does it. They do it for me.
Okay. I use Google Maps
days ago because of that.
Well, and I watched a TikTok recently where someone got pulled over for flashing their lights as they went by the cop to warn the other drivers going the other way. He pulled them over and told them it was illegal.
I was pulled over in 1987 for flashing my lights at a cop. So
really,
it's not new. Yes. He said, "Why'd you flash your lights at me?" I said, "I thought your headlights were off." He said, "Oh, I thought you were warning other people about me," and I'm like, "What?" So no, that's not new.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you could get pulled over for that.
Cops can pull you over for anything.
No, they can't.
Yeah,
they have to have no. Well, in Ohio they can't. Maybe in Oregon they can, but in Ohio they can't. They have to have a reason. Now they always have a reason.
Well, then you just contradicted yourself. Okay, they can pull you over for whenever they want because they can invent a reason. Problem solved.
They invent the reason, right? Oh, you look like you swerved. Matter. Oh, I thought your headlight or your tail light was out.
It doesn't matter. You're not going to get around that. They're still going to pull your ass over whenever they want. In fact, they're likely to pull you over and then look for a reason. It's not like you're going to be so perfect. I mean, it can be as simple as you weaving, or them saying that you were weaving. So
right.
Anyway, getting back to data, in my opinion frequently follows data. I say frequently because I have a subjective opinion about the data. The data itself does not have an opinion.
If it's AI, it does.
Well, that's an AI interpreting the data.
But that's AI data. You can ask AI for data and then ask their opinion of it, and it'll tell you. So data can have a voice now. I
would suggest that the AI is something that's on top of the data. The data itself doesn't have an opinion.
So the last thing I wanted to talk about, and we dovetailed into it without me having to create a way to do it. Last night when we were talking, I had mentioned how I loved Nate's show that I listened to the week before. And one of the big topics on there was the crypto AI sector. And there's a couple of fantastic AI token programs, Fetch being one of them. There's a few that are really making some progress. Do you think that crypto and AI can mesh? Or do you think that
AI and anything can mesh? Of course it can.
Well,
that's like saying, can crypto and art mesh? Of course they can.
Yeah, you have a right-click JPEG.
Well, you can say whatever you want. Crypto and art can mesh.
So
you can make it so that you need the private key in order to see the art. That's pretty easy. Now that would suck, but what you could do is you could put a low quality picture for the actual art picture, and then have to enter the key to see the high quality picture. That way you get both things. People can right click save all they want, and they wouldn't get the original art.
I am going to try. So I found out that OpenGPT can code for you.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's a YouTube thing on that I just saw the other day. It's great.
And well, so 2 comments on that. The first thing is somebody posted yesterday on Twitter a video where OpenAI actually wrote a program, realized there was a bug, and fixed the bug itself.
Yeah.
It realized that it made a bug, and it went and fixed it by itself.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. I am going to try that. I want to play with it anyway. And I'm going to have it write that bot, that trading bot I was talking about.
Well, you basically what you need to do is you need to find out where you can write a bot, and then just say, hey, whatever language that this is in, ChatGPT, can you write it in this language? Now, when you have it, the YouTube thing that I saw about that was you will find that you have to be very specific with your words, because your words are actually the program. Well, all it's doing is interpreting your words into another language. So if you say, I would like you to run over this list, and every time you see a word that starts with the letter L, then I want you to set that aside in a separate list, and then then go through the whole thing, and it'll code exactly what you say. You can't say, hey, can you just make this happen? It's going to say how. So it's going to be a bit more involved than you think. You're going to find that if you are a coder, you'll know how to take advantage of AI coding a lot better than a non-coder would.
Yeah, I'm a non-coder. I can write basic things, and I can fiddle with it, and I can interpret some of it, but I'm not that kind of guy. So I'm going to weasel my way through it and try it, and maybe I'll lose $1,000 or something because I coded it all fucked up.
What will happen is you will ask it to do something. It will give you something that doesn't work. You will look at the program, and then you'll say, you can even ask it about the program. You could say, how come it's not doing this? And they'll say, well, when you made your loop, well, when I wrote the loop here, I didn't include this in there, and it should probably be in the loop. So you can have it help you.
Oh, I'll need that help.
Yeah, like how come you only gave me, if you want a list of 10 things, you could say, how come I only got one thing? And it would say, well, I didn't look at the rest of the words. Why didn't you look at the rest of the words? Because you didn't tell me to. Oh, okay, well, look at the rest of the words now as well. And so you're going to be doing a lot of that.
It's okay. I'm going to give it a shot. I want to take advantage of some of this. Just throw some money somewhere and let it bot.
So AI has a lot of potential to work with anything. Now, you could have AI create a coin for you. You'd say, I want a crypto coin that would do this, and it would be able to have other tokens on it, and it could have art, and it can have other things with it. And it can say, oh, do you mean kind of like this over here? And you could say, yeah, just like that. And they would make you something similar.
Do you think Craig Wright is using OpenAI to figure out how to get into Satoshi's wallet?
That's strangely specific. Okay. Why not ask me if aliens are hacking ghosts in order to figure out people's crypto wallets? Wouldn't that be a little bit more down your line?
Well, it strikes me as odd that it can do things like that. You can have it write a program to try and crack a wallet.
Okay. So first of all, humans can still write programs better and easier, and AI is not going to be able to write a program, especially by you, that's going to be easily better than, I don't know, quantum computing. Bitcoin can't currently be hacked by code. It can, well, theoretically it can, but I mean, you're going to need a quantum computer in order to really hack Bitcoin. In fact, Bitcoin's going to have to change once quantum computing becomes more ubiquitous.
Well, I'm not talking about hacking the network itself. I'm talking about coming up with seed phrases of active wallets. I'm wondering if AI would be able to. Well, I'm saying to figure out how to, if you teach it how the seed phrases are generated, it will know that that last word is a checksum for the first word, and be able to, with a high degree of accuracy, then I would imagine pick up some wallets.
So
no?
You're making a lot of assumptions from what you're saying there. The whole point of the Bitcoin code is we already know how those seed phrases are generated. If an AI can do it right now, a person can do it right now, and people currently can't do it. There just happens to be so many potential seed phrases out there that it's going to boil down to the AI is going to be guessing, even with a program. And then you're going to have to try them out. So there's so many quintillion numbers of seed phrases out there. Good luck with that. In fact, I challenge an AI. Good luck with that AI. You're not gonna break it.
Okay.
With a quantum computer, yeah, probably will. But those still don't seem to be out yet.
Well, they'll get there. They're saying within 10 years they expect to have one.
I read about quantum computers in 1991 when I worked with you in the military. So, yeah, I'd like to see it. That was over 30 years ago.
They're guessing now that technology is advancing so rapidly. Neil deGrasse Tyson just did a talk where he was saying the aging process will be solved within 10 years based on the science he's seen. We'll be able to hack our age within 10 years.
Yes, I've actually also been following life extension since 1991, and so far we haven't done it yet. Yes, and we were.
No, they have, not in humans.
Well, yes and no. As far as doing it in humans, the testing process is a lot more involved. When you have a mouse that can live for 2 years, you can get a lot of iterations on, let's adjust its genes. Now let's see if it lives longer. You have 2 years. With humans, you have up to 80 years. You're going to have to use a different standard of measurement other than do they live longer.
Aging is simply the cells every 7 years not being able to regenerate themselves as well, and there's junk code in there. That's all aging is.
There's a lot more to it than that, but sure.
It's easy, man. Let's hack it. Let's get OpenAI to hack it.
If you have the answers, how come you haven't been doing this?
You'll see me drinking some strange drink here next week.
You mean right now?
OpenAI told me to drink this, and I'll lose 10 years off my age.
See, this is what gets me, and this should go on your conspiracy show. The whole fact that you're saying that about OpenAI means you don't understand OpenAI. What you're doing is you're giving it this presumption of intelligence greater than your own, and then acting as if it's true.
I'm giving it the presumption, because I haven't played with it yet. I'm giving it the presumption that it knows more data and knows where to go look to find the data that would make the most sense that I wouldn't be able to find with a Google search.
All it's doing is empowering you. All it's really doing is giving you a bigger memory and you a bigger CPU when you analyze a subject. So what it really means is it'll tell you whether your ideas work or not whether its ideas work. It's not going to do anything until you ask it to.
So we can go on forever. I will ask one more question. Do you think that this is morally correct or morally incorrect? Ready?
Sure.
A guy posted this today. He is a foreign national who is on a visa to come here to work. Okay, to the United States to work. Yeah. And he started his job, and he used OpenAI to write his stuff for him for work.
Was it true?
It was what true? What he wrote?
The stuff for him?
Yes, I assume so. But he said that the company that he worked for started using the detector and detected that he was using artificial intelligence to produce that document, that report that he was supposed to write. He says, well, listen, English is like my third language. I wanted to present this in a better way. I thought up the stuff. I just had OpenAI write it and everything else. And they said if he continues to use OpenAI to do his job, he will be written up and fired.
Okay. So I would say at its best that is morally ambiguous, because what he is apparently doing with the best reading of that situation is that he has found a new tool. It is almost like in 1991, me using a word processor instead of typing it myself, and then getting fired because I didn't type it myself. So a word processor is nice because you can take sentences and move them around. You can have macros. You can have it spell check and stuff like that. And I'm saying 1991 because you and I used a word processor in 1991. And
perfect.
Yep, and it was wonderful. The problem with AI right now is people are transitioning between an old way of doing something and a new way, and that new way is not yet defined. And so as a result, AI is giving an outsized advantage to these early adopters, just like crypto. So that guy, if he was able to find a way to have AI do his job, I would hire him. Why would that other company not hire him? Well, the other company probably wouldn't hire him because they have a political opinion about AI. So that's the best reading. Now, if he, that's why I asked if he had the skills. If he doesn't have the skills, then it's not morally right. Meaning, if he's having AI, if he requires AI to do everything, what's the difference between him and someone else?
Well, it was a tweet, so it wasn't like a thread that was like ridiculously long, but apparently he had to write reports on things for his job. He didn't say what his job was.
So right. And so it really burns down to the company's policies and what the company wants to provide for a product. If they want to provide well thought out human sourced information, then no, it's not morally correct, and he was wrong to do it. However, if the company was a bit more forward thinking and realized that would save them a lot of work, and it was good data and they had a way to check that it was good data, that guy's fucking awesome. He's stellar.
So does he deserve a paycheck for earning his job, or
depends on who's paying?
He outsourced it. He outsourced it to the AI to do it, right? Yeah. It prompted it, like you were saying.
Who's paying. I've been a contractor for many years. I was the outsourced person. So companies outsource all the time. You're just saying, boy, is it bad that the employee outsourced too. If the company has a policy against it, then it's wrong. So if the company does not have a policy against it, then they better fucking write one up, because they shouldn't fire him. He's using a tool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think another. Okay, what if my job every day was to work at a construction site and maybe put roofs on houses? When you do that, you got to bang a lot of nails into the ceiling. Okay, great. What if I came up with a device that would bang 10 nails for every one nail that everyone else did? Well, first things first is everybody else would get really pissed, because I would be getting things done faster. I'd look better and whatever. The company would then have a choice: keep me and fire 9 people, or fire me. And it's going to depend on their approach.
That's one way of looking at it.
Well, you're talking about just a typical adoption of new technology. That's all that it is. And AI is a new area that's really cool, has a lot of potential. I think you're going to find a lot of curated AIs with very specific purposes. Great, that's good. That they will help us. That means if one person can get done the amount of work of 10 other people, that means society gets 10 times or not. Technology gets 10 times better. We now get 10 times more productive. What if it could harvest 10 ears of corn for 1 ear of corn harvested by a human? Now you see the promise. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So no, it's not. I call it morally ambiguous. It just depends on who has the problem.
Cool. That's all I got for the pre-show.
Wow. So you just want to talk about AI? I think we should make this
public.
I
wanted to talk about my primary goal was talk about the gaming den of inequities and the moral stance on how the games are being presented, created, put out on crypto from yesterday's, because I thought yesterday's conversation about that was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm happy to go into morals for gaming.
And then the AI thing, we just kind of dovetailed into it. That was a backup for me today because I'm curious, after reading that stuff today, what your thoughts were. I want Faz Opinion Friday, not Faz, go read this, and that's the facts, Jack.
So Faz's opinion is that AI is new technology. The world's got to absorb it. Once it does, the world is going to there's going to be different haves and have-nots in the world, and everybody's going to be pissed that previously had.
Right.
And the haves will become the have-nots. So you'll probably see Charlie Munger and Warren, whatever his name is, having a problem with AI too, just like crypto.
Yeah, probably. Well, they might like it because it's left-leaning, though.
Well, think about AI is no. We've talked about this. Reality is liberal. Anyway, the computer in the 1930s, that was a person in front of a manual calculator. That's what a computer was. And after just 10, 20 years, a computer was something that replaced entire roomfuls of people with just electronics. Was that bad? Was that morally wrong? Yes and no. It was ambiguous. It depends on how society wants to run. If society decides that AI is evil, then yes, it's morally wrong.
Well, people were afraid they were going to lose their jobs because of computers, and they didn't. They just morphed them right into what they do.
The problem with this world right now, this capitalistic world we live in, is demographic change. We do badly with it. If anything that gets invented is going to change the haves and the have-nots, those are demographics, and they're going to change. And all the people that were haves before have to get retrained. Retraining costs money. Who's going to do all that retraining? It's that simple.
The AI does it. Teach the AI how to train you to...
Think about this. The AI isn't going to work on its own to come up with the problems to solve. You are. The humans are. Mm-hmm. The AI is going to do all the grunt work. Great. So imagine that all the grunt work was done for you in computing. Now what would humans do? We would all be managers. Great. Manager would be a base level position. And then, of course, the directors and the executives would still be above those. And so, I mean, it's just going to it's going to be just typical progress.
Okay. Typical progress. Business as usual.
The cotton gin.
All right, we should probably get to the real show.
Let's do our music.